All right, so the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to rearrange these programs and make it neat. So basically what I did is that I moved all of these modules into a JS file called module. So that one not only contains those modules like this module 1, 2, 3, 4, but also other functions like start browser, or there is another one called visit URL whatsoever. So now these modules are put in a separate JS file. So in this working file, we'll need to import these modules, these functions. So, and actually it's very simple. It's just that you just set a var and let it called modules, for example, and then you can require, and you can put the path and the my modules JS, the name there. So that way it is going to load everything from that JS file. It's just that for each of the function, you have to give a field name. So make all the things just like what we did for this import this constant data. It's the similar idea. It's just that this time we're gonna import that as an object with for each function we're gonna have a field name. Like in this case, I'm always gonna have the same field name as the function name. So I'm gonna call that like start browser module 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So by doing so, then in the working JS file, then I just have to require all the contents in that my modules file, and then when later I'm going to use that, I'm going to state it as modules dot module 1 or module 2. So it's like when after this requirement, I'm going to use each of the functions in this my modules as a method that is defined there. It's somehow like this, yeah. So there is a trick there. For example, if you go to this module 2, that originally for inside this function module 1, it is gonna call a function called a visit URL, which is also a function inside this my modules file. So how to cite that? We cannot simply say it is visit URL. Let's just try to find it. Yeah, we cannot simply say the visit URL because that function cannot be recognized. We can because this function is within this my modules. We cannot say that modules dot then visit URL, because at the time when we load this modules JS, there is no such things called modules. All right. So the correct way to cite a function within this JS file is to use this, which is called this dot visit URL. All right. So that way we can within a function we can cite another function in this I don't know how to call that. It sounds like in this whole object, right? So this whole object is going to have different pieces. Each one is defined by a field. All right. So actually, that field represents a function. All right. So to cite another field, let's say to cite another field, you're going to say this dot visual URL. All right. So this is the trick to load all the modules. Now what we have is that for this main program in this working.js, it's very simple now, because all the rest of the things we've moved to other files, like all of these constants like this constants, we have moved that into this file, so we just have to import that. And even the program, so the functions, we move that into my modules, the file my modules. So now in this file it is very simple. So it's just like the first thing is that we're gonna import all the functions, which we call that modules. And then we're gonna import all of these constants, like the settings, and then we're gonna run the program. And then we just call, this different modules and run that one by one, and eventually we're gonna have all of that saved to the CSV file and close it. All right. So now the last thing we're gonna do is that I'm gonna move. Because I have completed all of these programs, I'm going to move this program into this JS file called the main, and I'm going to put it under the root. And note that I don't put it into this JS tools, because if I put it there, it's going to be troublesome. I have to redefine all of these this relative folders, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to throw it in the root directory, and I'm going to empty this working.js. And basically for this JavaScript part, the job is done